Hello, fellow AI art enthusiasts. My name is Thane and this is a video about Midjourney style reference feature and a selection of styles I have recently discovered with this feature. We have had a couple of updates since I last talked about this feature. Most recent being the --SREF random feature. I think this might be one of my favorite things to be released by Midjourney in a while. Mostly because my favorite thing is to find new styles that I might really like to share with all of you. There isn't a lot to it than just adding --SREF random somewhere in your prompt. And each time your prompt will look totally different. But when you like a style that you like, then the official way to copy that style is to apply it to new prompts by specifying the link to the image after the --SREF. And then you also have 4 options to choose from out of the different versions of style reference. I haven't really used them a lot myself, but all of the versions give a slightly different look for the images. You can specify it with --SV and version number from 1 to 4. --SV1 is the original style reference algorithm from release. --SV2 is the one that came after that. --SV3 is more vibey than the style version 2. I'm not sure what that means exactly. And --SV4 is the current default version with improved performance. I shall be looking more at the differences of the style versions later in this video. Now the unofficial way to reference styles. In the process of testing out the style random, I used --seed777 like always. But I ran into an odd issue. The seeds did not actually work with style random. I was expecting to use the same seed number but then have the style change with every prompt. I kind of spammed the prompt to fill up my queue, but discovered that all the images looked basically the same. Then I read some information on the Midjourney documentation website about the style reference, and to my surprise, there was a segment about referencing the styles with numbers instead. Similarly to a seed number, there is supposed to be a style seed number as well. But I could not figure out where to get the information about what number it is. Basically, I discovered that if you specify a --seed number for --SREF random, you will end up with images that have both seed number and style seed number locked in place. Meaning that when I used the seed 777 with style random, both the values were actually 777. Basically, it will result in prompt --seed your number --SREF your number. That will get you the exact same image, but hey, at least you know the style number. It doesn't seem to be possible at the moment to combine the number styles. For example, you cannot do --SREF12, it will not allow you to do that. But you can take an image link of style 1 and an image link of style 2 and mash them together by using links. All of this is so very unofficial information and will probably change sooner rather than later. But at least you can now control your random testing. Meaning that you can do the randomization yourself by just giving the number to --SREF in advance. Then, you will know what it is in advance, and if you find a style you want to use, then you can right away use the number for the style, instead of using a link to an image with that style. This certainly makes my life easier when sharing styles with you guys. Too bad I already generated all of the style example images for this video using the links instead of numbers. And since the style seed number seemed to be directly correlated with the actual seed numbers, we now have 4,294,967,295 styles to discover. For version 6.0 that is. Should I get started? I am really tempted to try them all out, but I am afraid it's a bit of an impossible task. I wonder if any of them repeat after a while or are they all entirely different? So far, I have really liked majority of the styles I have just found with SREF random. Let me know in the comments if you would like me to test out as much of them as possible, or would you rather have me share just my own personal favorites, or would you like me to do both? Make videos that contain a large number of styles and then make some videos with fewer styles, but with my usual experiments with different subjects. Anyway, here are 25 styles I discovered with the random feature. First the image that I discovered the style with, then I decided to switch things up and prompt a different thing each time. but I wanted to do an experiment with the different SREF versions, so you will see the same prompt in the 4 image grids, but versions will be from 1 to 4. And the links to the images for style reference will be either in the description field or a pinned comment down below. Let's begin. Vibrant colors, fantastical landscapes, and celestial wonders to create a mesmerizing style that sparks imagination and curiosity. The predominant colors are rich and intense. You'll find deep blues, fiery oranges, and mystical purples. These hues evoke a sense of wonder and mystery. The overall style exudes an ethereal quality. The overall style leans toward fantasy and surrealism. Elements of imagination, dreams, and otherworldliness prevail. The color choices are soft, muted, and ethereal. Blending and soft transitions, soft edges contribute to the dreamlike quality. Light sources emit a gentle glow, enhancing the magical atmosphere. A vivid and energetic style that suggests a modern interpretation of classic techniques. The color scheme is rich and varied, with a palette that includes bright yellows, reds, blues, greens, and purples. These colors are applied in a way that creates texture and depth, with visible brush strokes that add dynamism. A sense of freedom and expression, where the technique used allows for a playful interaction between light and color, creating scenes that are open to interpretation and full of life. A fusion of vibrant contrasts and futuristic motifs. A rich palette of neon hues that cast a glow reminiscent of urban nightlife. The technique is a blend of hyperrealism and fantasy, with a focus on intricate details that create a sense of depth and complexity. Colors are used strategically, with cool tones dominating the scenes, punctuated by warm accents. Immersion into an alternate reality, where every element is carefully crafted to build an experience that is both alien and familiar. A monochromatic palette, where shades of blue and black dominate, creating a mystical atmosphere. The use of light and shadow is strategic, highlighting intricate details and adding depth. Textures are layered with precision, suggesting a technique that blends digital manipulation with traditional painting methods. The overall effect is one of ethereal beauty, where the interplay of light and dark evokes a sense of subtle drama and complexity. The technique appears to be a fusion of digital artistry and classical aesthetics, resulting in a contemporary yet timeless visual experience. Gothic ambiance, characterized by a chiaroscuro technique that plays with light and shadow to create depth and volume. The color palette is restrained, often dipping into somber hues of blacks and grays, punctuated occasionally by stark whites and the occasional splash of muted color to draw attention to key elements. The overall effect is one of drama and intensity, with a clear emphasis on the interplay between light and darkness. The technique suggests a meticulous attention to detail, where every line is deliberate, contributing to a structured yet organic whole. The use of contrast is particularly striking, creating a visual rhythm that is both arresting and harmonious. The style is a fusion of vibrant and eclectic colors, blending natural hues with saturated tones to create a visually stimulating experience. It incorporates elements reminiscent of surrealism and futurism, with intricate details and textures that offer depth and dimension. Strategic use of lighting casts shadows and highlights, enhancing the ethereal quality of the scenes depicted. A fusion of fantasy and realism, where the vivid and intense use of color creates a dreamlike quality. Golden tones are prevalent, adding a luminous quality that suggests otherworldliness. The technique is detailed and precise, with a focus on fluidity and motion that brings the elements to life. There's a dynamic interplay between the fantastical elements and the realistic textures, giving the impression of a living, breathing world captured in mid-motion. The overall effect is one of depth, richness, and a sense of the ethereal. Fusion of classical architecture and fantasy, where the grandiosity of human construction meets the boundless realms of imagination. It's a tapestry woven with vibrant hues, predominantly in shades of blues and greens, creating a dreamlike quality. The technique is a meticulous interplay of light and shadow, which brings out the depth and intricacy of the architectural designs, while also blending seamlessly into the ethereal landscapes. The style is a fusion of historical art movements, combining the ornate complexity of Baroque with the architectural precision of Gothic design. It employs a palette that is deeply rooted in dark tones, punctuated by strategic use of light to create a sense of depth and dimension. Metallic accents in gold and silver contribute to a sense of luxury and grandeur, while the intricate patterns and shapes interlace to form a cohesive, yet elaborate visual narrative. A vivid juxtaposition of dark and bold colors with lighter hues, creating a stark contrast that evokes a sense of drama and intensity. The technique is reminiscent of Expressionism, where the focus is on conveying emotion through aggressive brushwork and dynamic lines. The use of color is strategic, with bright pops like red and teal standing out against a predominantly dark palette. A symphony of color and motion, where the vividness of the palette takes center stage. The technique is reminiscent of Impressionism, with a modern twist that emphasizes fluidity and abstraction. Bold, sweeping strokes convey a sense of spontaneity and freedom, while the strategic use of light and shadow imparts depth and contrast, creating a dynamic visual experience that is both immersive and evocative. A tapestry of vibrant hues, predominantly in the cooler spectrum, creating a serene yet mysterious ambience. The use of light and shadow is masterful, giving depth and dimension to the scenes. Techniques reminiscent of classical painting are evident, with a modern twist that adds a dreamlike quality. The color palette is carefully chosen to evoke a sense of wonder, with blues and greens creating a cohesive and immersive experience. Overall, the style exudes a timeless elegance, blending the fantastical with the ethereal. Embracing a palette where muted and pastel tones converge with serenity and whimsy. The technique is reminiscent of Impressionism, with a modern twist that blurs the lines between the natural and the ethereal. Brush strokes are visible, lending texture and depth, while the overall composition evokes a sense of nostalgia and tranquility. The style is reminiscent of a chiaroscuro technique, where the interplay between light and dark creates a dramatic effect. It employs a grayscale palette, emphasizing the contrast and depth without the use of color. The brushwork appears loose and expressive, contributing to a sense of movement and fluidity within the composition. A chiaroscuro technique, where bold contrasts between light and dark create a sense of volume and a three-dimensional effect. The monochromatic palette is rich with gradients from deep blacks to bright whites, emphasizing texture and form. The dynamic composition suggests movement and drama, while the meticulous attention to detail and shading techniques give a lifelike quality to the subjects, evoking a narrative without words. A color scheme that spans the spectrum, creating a vivid tableau. The technique suggests a digital brush, allowing for a blend of sharp details and softer, diffused edges. The scenes have a dreamlike quality, where light seems to dance and play across the surfaces, giving a sense of depth and dimension. The overall effect is one of dynamic harmony, where color and light converge to evoke a sense of wonder and vitality. Embracing a fusion of the surreal and the organic, this style is marked by a dreamlike quality that blurs the lines between the real and the imagined. The color scheme is subtle yet evocative, employing a palette of muted blues, greens, and earth tones that suggest a tranquil, otherworldly landscape. Techniques appear to combine meticulous detail with softer, more ambiguous forms, creating a sense of depth and complexity. The style is reminiscent of classical techniques, where the interplay of chiaroscuro is used to create a sense of depth and volume. The color palette is rich with warm tones, suggesting the use of glazing methods to achieve a luminous effect. There's a focus on texture and detail through meticulous brushwork or layering. Overall, the style evokes a sense of historical grandeur and narrative depth, often associated with epic storytelling. Embracing a fusion of surrealism and fantasy, the style exudes a sense of wonder and boundless imagination. It employs a palette of vivid hues that evoke otherworldly realms, with a particular emphasis on luminous blues and verdant greens, juxtaposed against warm, radiant yellows. The technique is reminiscent of digital painting, where each stroke contributes to a tapestry of intricate details and textures. The use of light is particularly noteworthy, creating a glowing, ethereal effect that seems to breathe life into the scenes. A fusion of Gothic and surreal elements, where the interplay of shadow and light creates a dramatic and moody atmosphere. Muted earth tones blend with unexpected splashes of vibrant colors, suggesting a narrative that is both haunting and dreamlike. Textural details are emphasized, giving a sense of depth and intricacy that invites contemplation. The overall effect is one of a carefully orchestrated dance between the real and the imagined, where each element contributes to a cohesive yet enigmatic visual experience. The style is marked by a juxtaposition of vibrant and subdued hues, creating a visual narrative that is both striking and contemplative. It employs a palette where deep blues and vivid reds often take center stage, suggesting a thematic focus on contrast and emotion. Techniques of silhouette and shadow play are prominent, lending an air of mystery and depth. The style is reminiscent of a blend between Impressionism and storybook illustration, marked by a vibrant color palette that combines warm and cool tones to create a sense of depth and movement. The use of light and shadow imparts an ethereal quality, while the detailed line work adds intricacy. Techniques suggestive of traditional painting methods are employed, giving the style a timeless and organic feel. This style is a fusion of the organic and the mechanical, creating a tapestry that is both familiar and otherworldly. The color palette is rich and dark, with a dominance of reds and purples, creating a mood that is intense and brooding. The overall effect is one of a meticulous dance between color and form, where each element is carefully placed to contribute to a hauntingly beautiful whole. The style is a fusion of surrealism and fantasy, characterized by a vivid color palette that employs both warm and cool tones to create a striking contrast. The use of light and shadow is dramatic, giving the scenes a three-dimensional quality and a sense of depth. The technique appears to be a blend of digital painting and photo manipulation, with a focus on creating a dreamlike atmosphere that borders on the ethereal. Alright, those were the styles for this video. I hope you enjoyed them as much as I did. The style referencing with image links is quite tedious for sharing purposes in my opinion. That's why I went back to just exploring the impacts of words on prompts instead of SREF. For Midjourney 5.2, I remember quite many styles as being dark and not very useful. It took a lot more tries to get awesome styles to share, whereas with version 6 I have seen so many really cool styles. Anyway, I thank you so much for watching and let's continue prompting.